Coliseum of speed, a ribbon of asphalt wrapped in steel, waiting to crown a victor. 100,000 voices meet the thunder of engines. A symphony of speed and spectacle. It's the crucible where nerves are tested and dreams teeter between triumph and disaster.
Pushes just keep getting bigger and bigger.
At 200 miles per hour. This super speedway demands everything. Precision, courage, instinct. Here, a split-second decision doesn't just change a race. It changes a legacy. Greats become icons. And the unexpected becomes unforgettable.
Daytona 500, are you kidding me? Daytona 500, we got it!
Now just 200 laps stand between them and racing immortality. Welcome to the great American race.
And a big thank you to Academy Award winner Morgan Freeman, who you can see in My Dead Friend Zoe in theaters February 28th. 41 race cars and one presidential limousine are lined up on pit road, ready for the start of the 67th annual Daytona 500 on Fox. What a scene for this, the biggest day of any stock car racing year, and even bigger, with a sitting president coming to the Daytona 500 for only the third time in history. 43 different men have won the 500. 8 are in today's race, and one is standing right alongside me. That's Kevin Harvick. Clint Boyer has finished 4th in the great race twice. What a day. How big can it get?
It doesn't get any bigger. This is the biggest race of their lives. The Daytona 500 is it for our sport. The build-up, the hype, everything, the energy is blowing through these guys' veins like fire, like wildfire. You got the president on the ground, the Thunderbirds flying overhead. Daytona has America on display.
Well, hold on, Clint, because all that hype is usually what causes one of those early cautions. As a driver, you have to take a deep breath. You have to focus on what you're supposed to be doing, because everything that's happening down there can be very overwhelming. So it's a big moment. Still makes the hair on my arm stand up, and I can't wait.
Well, the fear is the big one, and that is the big accident. We've had several all through the week, this week already in the qualifying races on Thursday. And our stat boys put together that the danger zone is from 5th to 30th. You need to be in front of that or behind that.
That's a pretty big zone.
I was going to say,
it is.
Typical stat guys there. Let's narrow it down a little bit. But I don't think there's a safe place, and I think that their stats are right. I think as you are leading this race, getting those pushes is super important. And with this car, those pushes have become more and more aggressive as we get towards the end of the race. And ultimately, that's going to result in a wreck. There's just no way around it.
That's the inevitable. And the biggest thing is there's no way. Everybody thinks they can look into a crystal ball and this is the lap they're going to wreck, or this is the situation that's going to happen. You don't know. You have to go out there, put yourself in position, just like last year's William Byron, right? He was the one that got turned into the guy leading the race and wiped them all out, ultimately leading him to win the Great American Race. That can happen. It can happen to anybody in this race today.
Well, we saw the president there talking with the king, stock car racing's king, Richard Petty, and with Greg Biffle, who led a fleet of helicopters doing relief in western North Carolina after the hurricanes there. Biff's going to get a selfie with the president. What a nice memento of that trip to Daytona. So, who will set the pace today, and how fast a pace will it be?
Well, I think in the beginning it's going to be a fast pace, and I think for the drivers, the big thing that you have to do starting this race is get used to the pace of the field with all the cars in it. That pace will be a lot different than what you practiced with. It'll be a lot different than what you had in the duels, and you have to be able to readjust yourself to the way that things are happening and still calm down.
Yeah, to your point, Kevin, you have to remember the duels, half the field. None of these cars on the racetrack has had the speed, had the downforce, or lack of downforce under what they're going to feel for the whole field of 40 cars to be out there. The pace picks up, grip level goes down.
Toyota on the pole for the first time ever in the history of the 500. Chase Briscoe will lead them to green. Will he stay there, and for how long?
Well, that's a good question. I think as this thing starts to play out, all those circumstances start to change. But Chase Briscoe is in the opportunity of his life in that 19 car. We saw that car have so much success through the years with Martin Truex Jr. But I believe that when you have a driver and a crew chief that are as motivated as Chase Briscoe and James Small, great things are going to happen for this 19 car. But today, you have to be able to control the race as long as you can, and that is hard to do here.
Well, as we saw the Penske camp do it in the second duel, how do you do that? You do it with teammates like Denny Hamlin, three-time champion of the Daytona 500. But you heard me talk about Logano. Him and Austin Cindric worked so well together in duel number 2. It was amazing, the whale of a job that they did to get Cindric the win.
Christopher Bell often flies under the radar, but boy, he and Kyle Larson competed all last season for the most wins.
Well, he's soon, over the next few years, will become the leader of Joe Gibbs Racing, so it'll be great to see him do what he does inside the car today.
Bubba Wallace, a winner on Thursday night. All right, let's go trackside with Jamie Little.
Well, I'm joined now by the President of the United States. Mr. President, 5 years ago, we were standing in this very spot. What brings you back to the Great American Race?
Well, I think it's fantastic. It's great for the country. Our country is doing well again, and we have spirit all over the world. There's spirit again. We brought it back, and it's been less than 4 weeks. So you'll see what we do in a little period of time. It's going to only get better, but this is very exciting.
You brought your granddaughter. I know some of your other family members are here. You get to take a ride around in the Beast. What is that like?
I'll let you know in about 2 minutes, because it's going to be, they're going to be going quite quickly, I understand.
And you just got to meet some of the drivers. Are you going to get on the radio again and talk to them before the start of this?
And I say they have a lot of courage doing this. It's I see it, and I've been here, and they have a lot of guts, as they would say.
Mr. President, enjoy your time.
Thank you very much. Great.
Bye.
Thank you, Jamie. What a day in Daytona, the 67th annual Daytona 500 at the ready. Rain perhaps on the way, so we'll be racing to get past halfway just as quickly as possible here. 41 cars, drivers from 4 countries, most of them NASCAR Cup Series regulars, getting ready to flip the switch and race into history. Let's go trackside for the command.
Daytona International Speedway, here to give the command to fire engines from Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World, now in theaters. Please welcome Captain America himself, Anthony Mackie.
Drivers! Start your engine!
.200 laps, destiny awaits. Perhaps one of these drivers to hoist the Harley Earl Trophy in Daytona Victory Lane.